Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to HeartTouch Stories, where every story carries a spark of kindness and a message that can touch your soul. Today, I want to share with you a story that will make you stop and think about the invisible threads of compassion that connect us all. Have you ever wondered what happens when a complete stranger steps into your life at the very moment you need help the most? What if the kindness of someone you don't even know could change your life forever? Stay with me until the end, because this is not just a story about paying a bill. It's a story about humanity, about love, and about how one act of kindness can echo through an entire lifetime. It was a cold evening when the sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the hospital corridors. Maria, a young mother in her early 30s, clutched the hand of her little boy Daniel. He was barely 6, and his tiny chest rose and fell rapidly as he struggled to breathe. She rushed to the reception, panic in her eyes. "Please, my son, he can't breathe properly," she cried. The nurses quickly took Daniel into the emergency room. Maria followed, her heart pounding, her mind racing with fear. Doctors moved swiftly, checking his lungs, attaching tubes, and giving him oxygen. After what felt like an eternity, the doctor approached her with a serious face. "Your son has pneumonia. We need to admit him immediately and start treatment. He will recover, but it will take time and care." Relief washed over Maria, but then came the crushing weight of reality. She worked as a cashier at a small grocery store. She barely made enough to pay rent and buy food. Health insurance? That was something she could only dream of. Maria nodded quietly, pretending to be strong. She told herself, "I'll figure it out later. Right now, Daniel just needs to get better." Days passed. Daniel's condition slowly improved, thanks to the treatment and medicine. But in the back of Maria's mind, fear lingered, not for his health anymore, but for the bill that was waiting for her. Finally, the day came when Daniel was strong enough to leave. The nurse handed Maria the papers, gently saying, "You can settle the bill at the front desk." Maria took a deep breath, walked to the counter and asked. The receptionist printed the papers and slid them toward her. When Maria saw the amount, her legs went weak. It was more than $3,000. Her eyes blurred with tears. I can't. I don't know how to pay this," she whispered, almost ashamed. The receptionist looked at her kindly but helplessly. "Ma'am, you can discuss a payment plan. But the hospital does need some initial deposit." Maria's hands shook. She thought of the rent she hadn't paid yet. She thought of the groceries she still needed to buy. She thought of Daniel, holding her hand, trusting her with innocent eyes. At that moment, Maria felt like she had failed as a mother. She covered her face and quietly sobbed. Then, suddenly, a voice spoke behind her. "How much does she owe?" Maria turned around. A tall man in his 50s stood there. His clothes were simple, his face calm, and his eyes filled with something Maria had not seen in a long time: gentle kindness. The receptionist hesitated. "Sir, this is confidential." The man nodded. "Then let me make it simple. Whatever it is, I'll take care of it." Maria's mouth fell open. No, please. I can't let you do that. You don't even know me." The man gave her a soft smile. "You're right. I don't know you, but I see a mother who loves her son. And that's enough." Before Maria could protest further, he pulled out his checkbook and signed the amount. The receptionist confirmed the payment, stunned by his generosity. Maria stood frozen, her tears now flowing freely, not from despair, but from disbelief. "Why?" she whispered. "Why would you do this for me?" The man looked at her, his eyes a little misty now. "Years ago, when my daughter was sick, I was in your shoes. I had nothing, and a stranger paid my bill. That day, I promised myself, if I ever got the chance, I would do the same for someone else." He paused, looking at little Daniel, who smiled faintly, unaware of the miracle that had just unfolded. "Your son deserves a chance to grow up healthy, and you deserve a little peace in your heart." Maria covered her mouth with her hands, overwhelmed. All she could do was whisper, "Thank you. Thank you so much." The man simply nodded. "No need to thank me. Just pass it on someday, when you can." And with that, he quietly walked away, leaving Maria standing there, holding her son's hand, holding on to a moment she knew she would never forget. What would you do if a stranger lifted the heaviest burden from your shoulders? Would you keep it as a memory, or would you pass on the kindness just as he asked? This story reminds us that kindness is never lost. It travels from one heart to another, like a chain of light that never fades. The man who helped Maria was once helped by another, and someday, Maria will help someone else. And that is how humanity survives, not through wealth, not through power, but through compassion. Life may not always give us what we want, but life always gives us a chance to be kind. And sometimes, that chance is enough to change the entire course of someone's life. Thank you, dear friends, for listening to this story from HeartTouch Stories. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs hope today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss more stories filled with love and meaning. Until next time, be kind, stay hopeful, and remember, even the smallest act of compassion can create ripples that last forever.